Sorry, hi. You know when you get that cup of tea and it's just at that right temperature and the right thing is to the... What are you doing here? Oh yeah. You know, the other week I emptied out that big old portfolio case that was behind my bed and went through it, and there wasn't a lot in there. Well, there's tons of art. And someone sort of commented that, oh, we should keep it and it doesn't take up much space. It does, because because there wasn't that much in there, because a lot of it had obviously been taken out over time and they were just the big things. But then I sort of found this the other day. This is a rather falling apart sketchpad book of random bits of other artwork and things and stuff that I've accumulated. And this was a sketchpad that I had for years and I gradually used because it was a big one. And then I found these and all these manner of things and all stuff, and then that, and then just now I happened to be looking at something and I've remembered this lot. So this is the portfolios and these are the things that we're going to take a look at today. Right, so this lot, this is just some of it. This is what takes up all the space. There's 50 canvases laying around, some hidden amongst all the dogs' toys. So all that area there is pretty much dogs' toys and the laptop, but there's canvases that are painted and pieces of wood and things, and then there's more stuff there, and then there's the chaos that is this, which is the current ongoing projects of the models being painted and built and so forth. We're going to look at these. Starting with this was part of that portfolio that was behind the bed, and there's not a lot of it left anymore. They've been taken out, some of them been put up on walls and things like that, and over time. But to start with, there was a lot of this, random sketches of things. There's a lot of fashion and stuff. Somebody once asked me, commissioned me to draw a picture of a woman, warrior, barbarian kind of thing. That was one of my friends, Patsy. That was actually an outfit for a photo shoot, and they drew the costume and whatever, and the photo shoot turned out to be this, my most sold picture, that picture. So yeah, that was a picture for a photo shoot. It's more drawings and things, more outfits, more ideas. And that is pretty much the entire photo shoot. Drawing portraits, quite often drawing things that are seen on the television, like freeze framing and drawing. My artwork on paper is a lot different to my artwork now, because a lot of the time now I draw most 90%, 100% of the time is drawn on Procreate or digital on the iPad. It's a very different technique drawing on pencil. There you go. That was drawn when I was at art school. I had this idea for a race of people that were kind of evolved humans. Like if you took humans and made them better, but made them more primal. They then became my Terranians in my fantasy novels. They're a whole section, a whole new part of the book. When you come to the third book, these people feature heavily. And I've drawn tons of them and come up with different things, and they're all different, it's very specific. And that's a female hunter. And I drew that in the 1990s and then wrote it into my book. It's the ones that are waiting on trying to get published because they're so involved, and there's 5 series and it's a big epic thing and whatever. That's also part of the portfolio. That was I remember that during my interview. The interviewer going, what happened to her poor face? I had a whole series of pictures of people, like artwork and that, drawn from magazines and whatever, and I didn't draw their faces. That was part of the series. That was Mandy Smith. Remember Mandy Smith? Married to Bill Wyman? Bill Wyman commented on my video the other day. Bill, talking about how Mick Jagger used to strut. My mum used to do the Mick Jagger strut when she was drunk. And I commented that and he wrote back. But yeah, Bill Wyman, Mandy Smith's husband. Okay, what's next? Another concept, another art piece. David Bowie's Andy Warhol, apparently. So this was part of the artwork, the Andy Warhol thing, but that I end up trying to do on Friend. But yeah, I've written David Bowie's Andy Warhol, apparently. There's another bit. This is all the portfolio that was taken out of the portfolio. There's the school drawing. That's the original drawing for the sketch for my school and the signage and all that. Also, I did a thing called Graphcom, technical drawing. That was part of my drawing. I think that was part of my GCSE exam. You had to draw something. I drew the school. It got lost on whoever marked it. I passed, but I didn't get flying colours. I think I got A- or something. A wedding gown. There are lots of wedding dresses. I've designed some very random things in the time in my past. That is a comic book based on a photo shoot I did, and then I think I ended up making a comic book art cover on Photoshop, and I did that a lot. I've got a fair amount. I had a whole portfolio of superheroes and comic book characters and whatever from photo shoots, like realistic. We come to that at some point. Another random. This was a dream. I had a dream about somebody, and their outfit. I remembered. My dreams are very, very boring, but very, very specific. They always have been. Things don't happen in my dreams. I sort of sit on a bus, but I can tell you every single outfit that every single person on the bus is wearing. That's it. Yeah. This is a bit more modern, and you kind of have to look at it like that because I drew it on the table and drew it like that. When you stay upright, everyone's legs are really long. Yeah, you have to look at it like that. So that's how I've drawn. I did that. I used to do that a lot. This is the crew of the SAF Valkyrie. There's even a dog down the bottom of that. This was part of that portfolio, and this was comic book characters. Started off with one drawing and then went on and on and on. But you can see it's got rips and stuff over time. See anybody you recognise or anyone you like? This Psylocke, Catwoman, Power Girl, Hulk Girl, Dagger from Cloak and Dagger, Hollywood in the corner. Here, this yellow thing. There's a story. There's a whole thing. I had a cassette tape with Iron Maiden's Seventh Son and Seventh Son on it, and it got caught in the cassette player and warped. Those times when music used to be temperamental and fickle, and it got caught and it warped and somehow twisted. And whenever I played the start of the Seventh Son and Seventh Son, it would go, and it sounded like a Black Sabbath album, Devil Worship and all that. But it very clearly said, Eranu Trebor Sibatin. Eranu Trebor Sibatin. But Eranu Trebor Sibatin became her. There's a bigger picture of her. That is Eranu Trebor Sibatin. And this was my character for, you can see, Warhammer 40k. And I found this the other day while looking for something else, and I was like, that's cool, that stood up to the test of time. I'm going to redraw it. So I redid it digitally on Procreate, and I came up with this. So this is Eranu 22. My original characters tend to be very similar. My Eloise, which is my drawing own style, that isn't a million miles from her. This is flow art painting before it was flow art painting. This is actually quite cool. This was a painting based on a photograph I took of some of my friends dancing. From a distance it looks quite cool. Up close it's a bit of a mess. Before that picture, where is it? I have to go the wrong way. That picture, hold on. Oh, stop it. Come here. There, that picture. Yeah, you get what I mean. There we go, that one. Before that picture was up, this was up. This took me ages to draw. And the problem is, proportions are off again. But there's my Catwoman. I really like Catwoman, as you can probably tell, because there's a statue up there as well that I redid, which is another video of its own. But yes, there's my Catwoman. Running out of light here. Where I used to live before I lived here was with my parents in Stoke Newington. And that's what the back of the house, the garden view of my bedroom window view was. Again, this was in the portfolio. Weirdly, the bottom window is missing. I don't know why. Anyway, this is what's left of my technical drawing. My graphical communications was like this thick. But this is the sort of stuff we had to do. And I'm sure if you're a graphics artist, you've done this. Drawing helixes, and bolts, and these are the best ones really. There were so many, there were just millions of drawing cross sections of cones. If you cut that out and made it round, it'd make a very elaborate cone. There we go. That was in the original portfolio. That's self-explanatory, really. We're back. It's now dark. There's lights all over the place, and we're going to do that. I'll put that there. Look at the rest. Yeah, I got to here earlier looking at this one and went, you couldn't see. I held that up and it was just like, there was nothing to be seen. It was just a sketchwork. It's actually not mine, it's Tora's. Now this is a random, there's not a lot in this, but there's a few things. This is the prompts from the Jazzers Arty Games. That was the picture in the end. Guy wearing a VR headset, pulling a sword from a stone while wearing a football outfit. I think, something like that. Let's guess what this is about. My fascination and love of narrowboats has prompted concept art and drawings and pictures, ideas, layouts, modernisations of narrowboats. Look at that, funky front pieces, lifting front crutch covers. This is production companies and things, the makeup vans, and they extend, so you can go much bigger. These are my concept ideas. This is where the graphical drawings and things come into my mind. Plotting and planning, scheming. Another book. What's next? Our blog, we had graphics. A picture of Tora I was quite pleased with. Mine, however, not so much. Chibi Tora. She's pretty. Drawing faces. Just drawing faces for the sake of drawing faces. Just one after the other, just tons of different expressions and feelings. It really would help if I could read my writing. Mirror, living booze. Don't know, but whatever it is. Alien. Can you read that? And she's pretty. She really is. Okay. Random artwork from, what's the Necromancer? The girl with the glasses, the moulded to her head in the pod hotel. There's our finished character drawings for one manifestation of it. It's one of my drawings for one of the videos, Friends. That's the person in the back with the van filled with money. Yeah, I only know one person that drives a van. It's full of money. Random art piece. Oh god, dropping things. Another random art piece. I think again from the Arty Games, just drawing something. These were Cogent roleplay game people. These are characters. Jubilee, one of the many characters. I think Jubilee from X-Men. It gets redrawn quite a bit. The face is a bit bad, but the fairy's quite cool. This is mixing Disney princesses with superheroes. So Tiana from whatever that is, Princess, Frog Princess or whatever, and the Wasp or whatever her name is. Ariel with Aquagirl, Elsa and Emma Frost. So Elsa Frost. Cinder Girl, so Power Girl and Cinderella. I know what Psylocke is. Psylocke is just Psylocke. Pocahontas and M from Generation X. Beauty and the Beast, and it's Dr. McCoy and Phoenix. Moana and Wonder Woman drawn together. Random artwork. That was one that was really weird. That it started off as a drawing of something and it gradually got weirder and weirder. More and more work walked out. Random. This is another art piece from the book, one of the random creatures I created. Girl in Ready Player One. I can't remember her name. Artemis, is it? Prompt from something, draw somebody with 3 eyes. So I drew her and she's giving away 3 eyes. Jazza once did a live stream things and he had this 70s disco queen with a massive afro holding a comb, and it never made it to a finished video because it was a little bit too sexy. But I liked the prompt, and so I kind of redid it, used the same prompts and disco queen thing. Now, another book I wrote, and this is, as I said, lots of concept art for lots of things. One of the books I wrote was Icia St.Clare. Basically, my friend Ethan came up with this idea in the pub one night, and he said, you should write a book about, and I won't go into it because it's quite racy and quite dirty in places. That was Christmas, and his birthday is in April, but in the 4 months of that, I wrote this book, weird concept, came up with all these concepts and art pieces and things, and you can kind of tell it's based on Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. So it's Icia St.Clare and Sector D Warffs, Seven Dwarfs. So that's her as she looked, and that's the junkyard in which the spaceships are hauled up. And yes, these are the weird alien creatures that fueled that story and whatever, and it's weird. And it is still available on Amazon, and it does get sold, and people do read it, and people will get here and just go, what the hell's this? It's weird. Like another one, and there's another one which we can't really show too much of because that gives away the story, and that, however, is just a giant person. Concept art for a bakery. I think that's the last thing in Jazz's How to Draw Characters book. More random people. An adventure in the herbologist and Pesty the Pirate Kid. I think that's another concept thing from another how-to. Concept art for random characters. Harley Quinn, my version of Harley, from my favourite version. This thing is that bracelet, redrawn. That's Jazz's, whatever, the ghost, the picture printed and coloured in. Another random alien, look at that. Isn't that weird? That's another one. This is the latest book, and but the first picture is terrible and it really needs to be redone. This is Lauren. Lauren is a high school student and a cheerleader, and it's all based in the UK, and there are cheerleaders in the UK and very good ones too. And it's a book that I'm starting the second book in the series, and this is all the artwork and all the faces and the drawings from it. Although, as I say, this picture of her does not do her justice. She's way prettier than that. But there are other characters. This is Rosie. Rosie's progression through the book, and other characters within the book, all drawn out. Also, I've got an image in my head, very set images of some people. You can sort of see the progression and storyline growing through these. And so I'm not showing myself too much because this is all a concept. But then it goes on to other random things. A barbarian, a witch. Oh, that's another one for the Baba Yaga collection, isn't it? Funky girl with one leg. This is one of those drawings that gotta go like that, because when you do it like that, the head's is wonky. That is Jess. This is the very start of my book, The Licorice Box. The very start of the book is describing a teenage girl walking into a kitchen and getting ready for school in the morning, and that is the concepts and the artwork for it. Random sailor. That looks like Gemma Chan, I've realised. I don't know what that is. 2B and A2 and AB. That would be AB, which is the picture that's up there. My fairy that I want tattooed on my arm. Fibros. That's a superhero muscle that turns to concrete. So when she gets shot or anything, it just turns to concrete. A giant. A wizard with a face in the beard. Look. Me. Variants on drawings of me. Oh, what's her face from Guardians of the Galaxy? Can't remember her name. And a Spider-Man. Spideyverse. A sextress. Red Queen. I've got the other picture up there, which is Evangeline Somos, and the Red Queen, Victoria Aveyard's book. Me! Artwork for Christmas video years back. That was probably me on my first day of school. Hair's a bit ginger, and that's me as well. That's why I got no teeth and a scar up here and all this. That's what happened to me. That was the whole drawing. I drew the whole, It's actually quite a good picture, actually. Jessica Negri, and I don't know who she is, but she's cute. Concept building for a house. It's kind of like Falling Waters sort of thing. A glass box. Girl smoking a cigarette. It's a caricature of a rather funky guy with a moustache and monocle. And then the battery dies. Doing well, the battery just died on the light, so I just start again. That was a jazzy art game prompt. This is one that needs to be explained. I took one picture, this sketch of Maisie Williams, Arya Stark in Game of Thrones, and she was still she, and not whatever they are now, and redrew it, animated it, and manga style, anime style, Tim Burton-esque. Simpsons, but my favourite, and still one of my favourites, Batman in the Future, or animated Batman style. That's one I should come back to at some point soon, because I want to play on that concept some more. Christmas cards from a couple of years back, and drawing faces, all random faces. I can see who that is because I know who it is, but they're really way too skinny. It's Jimin from BTS, but it's not. And finally, there we go, last picture. I think that's Corsica. Yeah, that was the view in Corsica. I sat on top of a rock and painted it. It's got from midday with some sunlight to having to have all the lights on to do this because it's gone over an hour of daylight. But there we go. That's 7, 8, 9 portfolio of art pieces. Random selection of stuff, all manner of things. There's probably more. There's tons over there, and there's books and there's sketchbooks. There's tons of sketchbooks lying around that have been used over time. And some last because you end up with like a few pages and back, and then you come back to it a few years later and draw again. This was a fun little delve into some of my art history, and if you like this, do give it a thumbs up. Let me know you've seen it and leave me comments down below, talk to me, and yeah, if you like these sort of things and you want to see more art of in London, me being creative, perfect channel to be on. Click subscribe and come back each time for something different, whether it's looking at old artwork, making models, painting things, who knows, burning things. That's a one I do a lot. I should actually do a video on burning things. Anyway, it's an idea. We'll come back to that. Until then, see you soon. Cheers. Bye. Yeah, that's mine. Weird. Don't drink. I'm going to sneeze because of the dust. There's a man shouting. There's a car downstairs with the playing music full blast just now. I just shouted down and told them to shut up. There's someone throwing stuff down the chute. They put stuff down the chute, then they go downstairs and go past the bin that they just dropped into the chute. Why they can't just put it in the chute? The bin? It makes more noise dropping it down there. So that's why they do it. There's now someone singing or shouting.